Well, hey, mamas. Jessica Coulter here. We are continuing our series about your teen and the failing grades that might be happening. So, if you have a teen with a failing grade, this is the video for you to watch. We're focusing on the why. Why is your teen failing? We've already done a couple videos this week, so if you missed them, be sure to catch the replays after this. And I also want to invite you to share what's going on with your teen right now. Are those grades looking great? Or is this video for you? Is your teen not doing so well in a class or multiple classes? Because definitely do know, even as we get closer to the end of the school year, if things aren't looking great, there is still hope. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to find that hope, what to do to figure out what's going on, and I encourage you to stick around as we talk about this. Now, as you're sharing your answers, do also know not only are there videos for you to watch as the replay, there's also an awesome freebie for you in the description. Encourage you to grab that after the video so you don't miss on some tips about why your teen is failing. So, thought number one here for you is your teen is probably missing some skills. Okay, your teen probably does not know how to learn. There's a very, very, very good chance your teen who has a failing grade, or maybe grades that are really, really close to failing, your teen does not know how to learn. Okay, it's as simple as that. If your child does not know how to take notes, your child doesn't know how to get himself organized, she doesn't have a goal, she doesn't have motivation, those are all study skills that your teen needs to be willing, capable to get good grades. Okay? We want your teens to actually know how to learn. Okay? So, I think my phone's doing something weird. Sorry about that. Everybody on Facebook, let me see if I can get it switched over. I think we're still okay on YouTube. Here we go. There we are. All right. So, your teen who's not doing well, who has failing grades, is most likely, most definitely missing one or more study skills. Because whenever parents ask me, why is he not doing his homework? Why does she waste time? Why are, these papers everywhere? Why does my teen seem to not know what's due tomorrow? It always comes down to study skills. If your teen does not have these skills that have to be learned, they're not just natural, well, unfortunately, things like bad grades are going to happen. Okay. So that's number one tip for you all that are watching. If your teen's failing, really think about it. Does my teen know how to study? Does my teen know how to learn? And if you've never seen notes come home, if your teen has papers everywhere, if your child doesn't use a planner, if your teen has no goals for this class, for the year, for school in general, those are all big red flags that your teen is missing some skills, and that's a very big reason why your teen fails. So, more thoughts, more tips I want to share with you. But before I do, I want to say thank you to all the mamas watching on Facebook. Thank you to all the mamas watching on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow. There is all sorts of information coming your way about teens, about school, about learning, and I don't want you to miss out. So subscribe, follow, turn on those notifications. All right. And if we haven't met, I'm Jessica Coulter, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring and Study with Jessie. So, what else to tell you all about your teens failing and what's that why? Well, not only do our teens sometimes not have study skills, they sometimes have an even simpler problem, which is they aren't communicating with the teachers. Okay, maybe your teen just doesn't know what the expectations are, doesn't speak the teacher's language. Now, maybe your teen's teacher wants all the assignments turned in on Mondays, and your teen keeps turning them on Tuesdays, and that means the teacher's not accepting them, or maybe they're only worth 50%. Okay, if it's something as simple as that, we just need to figure out what's going on. Okay, or maybe the teacher is explaining it in a way that your teen just never gets and doesn't have those skills, because self-advocacy is a study skill. So he doesn't have those skills to step up and stand up and say, hey, I'm really confused. What do you mean? It could also be that the teacher's not being clear and that your teen's not the only one that's confused. So maybe the teacher said it once and then expected all the students to just get it, and they're not. Well, that can be a problem right there and lead to your teen failing. Now, do also know maybe your teen just doesn't like the teacher. Okay. It could be that your teen, just thinks she's mean, or that he's rude, or that, it's not a teacher I like. That kind of relationship there can be very, very important and make a big difference as to whether your teen fails or passes or excels. Okay. So definitely that relationship can be a big problem. Now, obviously, you and I know we can overcome that. We know there's ways around that, there's ways to deal with it, but our teens might use it as an excuse, might not see any way to deal with the teacher or figure out how to have a good relationship with that teacher. Okay, so we want our teens to not just decide this teacher's never going to help me, this teacher is one of those teachers, that teacher's just mean to everybody. We don't want that to happen. Okay, now, last thing to tell you here, and it's on my little note sheet here because I'm always referring to my whiteboard because I feel like it keeps me more on point and hopefully helps you all get more of these videos. The last thing to mention when it comes to your teens failing and the why behind it, it can come down to the environment in the classroom. Okay, I just had a teen today tell me that he's struggling in his English class because it's really, really loud in class. It's not that he doesn't like English, it's not that he doesn't like the teacher, it's just literally so many kids in that class talk too much and are running around too much and are just kind of crazy. And that can make it a bad learning environment. And this particular student doesn't have a good grade in English because his friends won't stop talking. The teacher's not controlling the class, isn't making sure everyone's silently working. And this particular teen's getting really, really distracted. Now, are there things that he can do? Definitely. But at the same time, he's a student. And if the teacher's okay with everyone talking, everyone being at a certain voice level, he can't really do that much. So definitely we do need to realize and acknowledge there are some things your teen can do to not fail, to really figure out this why. But there's also some things that you just need to have a conversation with your teen about. Maybe that teacher just does lots and lots of group work and your teen doesn't like it. Maybe this teacher is very visual and your teen's very auditory. I mean, the learning styles make a difference, the environment makes a difference, the relationship. I mean, there's a lot of things that might not seem obvious that can make a big difference as to whether your teen fails, passes, or excels. So definitely, mamas, take some time, think about some of the things I've shared, really figure out, okay, why is my teen failing? And the reason we want to know the why, we don't just want to fix it, is for the fact that these whys are going to come up again. Okay, if the teacher relationship is a problem, the question is, what can we do about it so that way there's another teacher in the future your teen doesn't like? How do we not let that feeling, that relationship cause a failing grade? Okay, what do we do the next time your teen feels like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing? Okay, what do we do? What does your teen need to be prepared for if he doesn't know how to study? Okay, what does he do if he doesn't have the motivation, doesn't know how to use the planner? These are all things that we need to know so we can fix them, put some steps in place so that we don't fail again in the future in another class. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got questions, drop it below. Be sure to know that we can talk, you, me, your teen, and really figure out how I can help, how these study skills is knowing how to learn is something I can help your teen with before the next school year. And also remember, there's an awesome freebie for you in the description. It's called My Homework Buster. It's 5 tips to bust through your teen's homework objections. I gotta tell you, the why teens fail sometimes comes down to homework, and the why they don't do the homework, well, sometimes they just don't know how to do it. So definitely check out the Homework Buster, get those 5 tips, and stop fighting with your teen about homework. So click on that link, fill out the form on my website. I just need your email so I can email it to you, and you'll be good to go. So thanks for watching. Have a good night, and see you in tomorrow's video. Bye, mamas.